I'm glad to get to chat with you because you have some wonderful new music that is out now. Let's start though at the beginning. How would you describe your sound? Is it country rock? Is it simply country? How do you tend to describe your sound?
So I think it's definitely country rock, but definitely I've been influenced by so many genres throughout my life that I like to kind of infuse all my influences into one. But definitely, I would say country rock holds strong to kind of who I am.
Who are then some of the individuals who have influenced you as an artist?
Definitely one of my biggest and probably my first that I remember in high school back in 2005, be it Jason Aldean, massive fan of him, Brantley Gilbert, but also kind of goes back to the George Straits. Trace Atkins was a huge influence of mine. I've always loved country singers with the big baritone, low voices. So definitely big fan of him.
You have the song Bad Choices out now. Talk about the story behind it. How did you come up with the concept for it?
So I wrote that song with Steve Malella of Finger 11, and he produced it as well. So he kind of reached out and was like, "Hey, man, like I loved your Lit in the Sticks. I loved your country rock sound, and I think we could do something pretty awesome." So we wrote it, and he kind of came up with this title with Jim Witter. Who was another writer on the song, was like "Bad Choices" is kind of an idea that I had, and I'm like, that's really cool because a lot of country songs and songs in general always talk about the positives and how good the person is, or blah 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 blah. And I was kind of like, you know what, it's kind of be cool to write something that kind of shows that you're not perfect and you make bad decisions in your life and you kind of own who you are as a person. And I think those are my favorite types of people. Not everybody's perfect, and humanity in general, we're far from it. So I think being able to own who you are as an individual is a super cool trait, as long as you're not a terrible person.
Well, sure. There's one preface to it.
Yeah, you can't be a psychopath.
Since you are a part of social media, what kind of fan response have you been receiving to the song?
It's been pretty awesome. Like everybody's, kind of digging it. And when I released "Lit in the Sticks" back before COVID, when that song came out, everybody was super pumped about kind of the sound and the rock influence that I was kind of going for. And to not be able to release something like that for a bit, and to come back to it, I think the response has just been awesome. People are like, "Man, this is you. This is the sound that I love out of you," and it's been awesome.
I can only imagine how great people are receiving it, and they're probably eager for a full album, an EP, any of that in the works at all.
Absolutely. We're getting close. We have enough songs that we definitely could release an EP, but I think the goal is to release an album. Hopefully by end of year we'll have that all situated and ready to go. I think just maybe one or two more songs and we're laughing. So yeah, I got a new single coming out in August 16th, and we have a couple of songs that could possibly be released right after it. That it's going to be a little bit of a shock to people, but I'm super excited for people to hear it because it's definitely something a little outside the box of what I'm accustomed to doing.
What a great tease, my goodness.
Yeah,
We
I don't
talked a
want to give
bit
it away.
we talked a bit about the writing behind Bad Choices, but do you tend to have a process when you're writing your song? Do you need to have music before you create the lyrics? Do the lyrics find you and then you work out sort of what music would go along with it?
I think coming up with a concept and an idea is huge to kind of start the process when you're writing. But I'm also like the melody has to be king. Like that is so important because you can come up with lyrics all you want. If it doesn't fit the melody, it doesn't really matter. And at the end of the day, it's all about the hook and the chorus that's going to gravitate to people. So I think that is super important to kind of get the idea, get the melody, and then just make lyrics work, the best lyrics possible.
And you touched on Steve helping out with this particular song as well, but how much of a say or maybe even a hand do you tend to have when it comes to the production side of the music you make?
I usually, the good thing is a lot of them reach out to me and like, hey, what's the sound you're looking for? In this case, Steve kind of already had the idea, which was great, and that's kind of why we wanted to work with each other, because he kind of just understood what I was looking for right off the hop, and it just made it a lot easier to kind of come up with this song. So, but definitely, I'm very very involved in the production side when it comes to like, this is what I'm looking for. This is the, maybe a little bit more guitar, less this, so definitely I think it's super important as an artist to be involved, because at the end of the day, it is your song. And if you're not happy with the production side of it, it's kind of it's not a good feeling.
Sure, you want to make sure you get the best sound that you can and focus on what you think the direction of the song should be, but also being open-minded to maybe that's a little bit of a better idea and guidance as well. So there's obviously a give and take when it comes to the production side of the music that you make. But I'm eager to find out if there's a dream collaboration you still have in mind. Would you love to collaborate with someone on a song in particular?
Definitely, there's a couple. Obviously, like the big goal is to be able to collaborate with a bigger artist, But I would love. I'm a huge Carrie Underwood fan, so that would be like a dream come true. But I do have a duet that's coming out with a Canadian country artist in probably about a month or so. It should be released. So
Is that the August
yeah,
release you were
that's
teasing that?
the complete. This is a different song. So I
Okay.
essentially have two songs coming out in August, but yeah, I don't want to say who the artist is yet because I'm not too sure if they kind of want to tease it as well. But super excited about that one as well. But definitely Carrie Underwood. But I would also love, like, I would love to do a song with Jason Aldean. Like I said, somebody that's kind of in the same world as what I'm doing. It would just be, I think it would be easy and it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, we're here in the height of summer, and I'm curious, are there any plans to tour soon? Have you been performing live lately?
Definitely have some shows here and there. Obviously, just working on this album is kind of my main focus. And being in Canada, it's like it's summer or nothing here because it gets too cold. So you have your 3 or 4 months of doing your summer festivals, and then it's kind of getting back to the grind and making music. But definitely that is the goal, is to get more of a North American kind of tour kind of going, and reaching my music to North America as abroad. So I'm super excited.
You're a part of social media. Why is that such an important way for you to connect with your fans?
Because it's definitely the easiest way. Like essentially, like social media is such an amazing tool because you can really reach out to the world. Me being in Niagara Falls, Canada, it's kind of like we have the waterfalls, but other than that, it's not like a music mecca of the world by any means. But the fact that I can reach out to somebody in Nashville or reach out to someone in New York City or Toronto or Tokyo for that matters is pretty an amazing. It's pretty amazing that you can do that in today's world. So it's just even like being able to work with producers. Like we had a drummer that was from Australia on a track, and you send him a song, and then by the next day it's back, and it's like that came from Australia. It's just crazy what you can do in today's world with technology. So
It was everywhere for the pandemic because people were still able to create music, but it was lucky though because there's so much technology that you can be basically anywhere in the world and still create wonderful things that you want to get your message out about and still share music. You're still able to do the thing you're passionate about.
100%, and that there's definitely there was a lot of cons obviously with COVID, but the pros that with technology is that a lot of artists could still do what they wanted to do when it came to songwriting, and I think there was a lot of people that thrived from it because they can work from the comfort of their home, and sometimes that makes life a little easier for people.
Exactly. And it's everything is remote these days, or at least half of it is still remote these days. But it's amazing you get to work with incredible artists that you never expected you would, no matter where they live. What would you like to say though to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful, incredible music that you do make?
I just really appreciate it. I know there's a lot of great music out there, and there's a lot of great artist. So the fact that you guys are listening to what I'm doing and are digging it, it means a lot to me. It really does, because it is a grind. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, and it means so much to me that you guys are loving it. So thank you so much.